Hello, people. Hello, Hoy Todd Lee. Toyd Lee. So good to see you back from Belize. I was so sad that I missed it, but this is the sunset out there in Belize. In case Todd is missing it too, we're gonna have a few more scenes from Belize here on the show. Richard Gaddis is here. Hello, Richard Gaddis. I want to tell you all that I want to remind you that I'm going to be at the Flappers Comedy Club tomorrow night, 7 o'clock. It's going to be wild. It's going to be crazy. Hopefully Richard Gaddis can go. I know he lives somewhere around there, perhaps. Today is a healing, peaceful day. It's going to be weird because my guest, she isn't here yet. She told me she wasn't going to be able to be here at noon, so she's going to be here like later on. Her name is Ava Milva, and she is a spiritual person who does meditations and sound baths and chanting, and we're going to do a little bit of chanting here on the show. Todd says, don't let people tell you the Montezuma only resides in Mexico. Did you get some Montezuma's revenge? Did you get some of that? Is that what you're talking about? What are you talking about, Todd? What does it mean? Happy Friday, Howard. Today we're gonna do more than breathing today. We're gonna do some chanting. We're gonna do some chakra work. We're gonna do all kinds of crazy stuff today. It's gonna be super fun and very spiritually enlightening, I believe. Holy hummingbirds. Blas is here. He was messing around with his microphone and his hat, and he had his shirt off before the show. Weird today as opposed to which other day? That's gonna be weird. Hey, you know, it's going to be weird tomorrow at Flappers, too. I'll tell you that. So if you want to show up for some weirdness, we're going to, like, shock the house, shock the chakras. Todd has gastrointestinal issues. I'm so sorry to hear that. Todd, yes. Just Jay Comedian is here chanting. Yes, we're going to do some chanting. It's good to see there's a good group here because we're going to chant. I mean, seriously, chant for like 5 minutes at least. Will we get inverted? Denis, you got to tell us about your, I don't know, you got some kind of writing, bloggy kind of thing going on that's really giving people a lot of great advice about health and nutrition. So I want to hear more about that. Maybe you can send us a, I don't know, link or the name of it or something, because I've seen a lot of really interesting posts. Some of it way above my head because it's like, I don't know, it's for people that are like ultra marathoners and things like that. Nutrition for ultra marathoners. Todd says, yes, oh, what fun the trots can be, especially for a kiddo with IBD. I'm so sorry about that, Todd. The drum has arrived. What the heck? The drum is here. Just Jay got her drum. Oh, I'm so excited about that. Blas, let's get into the show so I can get Blas on the screen. And I can get everybody chanting. All right, good. I got Denis. Hey, Blas. You know, Denis Fay has a Substack, which is a writing. It's like a thing where you do writing and people subscribe to it. And he writes all about nutrition and I guess super athletes is what I would call it. Super athletes.
For nutrition for super athletes?
Yeah, for super athletes. And probably just normal people too, but some of it's like really, really intense. Like he was talking about something, I don't even know what it was, but it's super interesting.
Refusing it.
He says,
if someone super is using it, it's got to be good for us, right?
Yeah. We got to put this in the show notes. With the Substack. It looks like it's denise.substack.com. That's not that hard. Denis is spelled Denis for those of you that don't know. There it is.
Denis, the S is actually not there, but silent.
It's French, I believe.
But the
you know, Denis and I were on the swim team together in high school.
You're on the swim team?
Hell yeah.
I didn't know that.
Hell
I didn't
yeah.
know. It makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense the way you're built.
I was, in fact, the captain of the swim team. Yeah.
You got to pull the pictures up, dude. I got to see that. I got to see you standing there.
Any picture you will see, I am like under the water. Or I am like behind somebody.
Well, what about the group shots? They don't have the captain in the front and the
No, the captain is totally hiding behind people because he didn't want to be like seen. Blas, you're looking skinny, according to Kamala here.
What?
You're looking skinny.
I look camp.
Yeah.
Right? I don't know what that means. Skinny or you mean small on the screen or
who knows?
Skinny like
who knows?
What's she saying?
Todd Lee says it blows. Just Jay, no sucking involved. He had the colon blow. He had the old colon blow.
Oh, did he?
Yeah. Denis Faye says no, any athlete, even you. I'm going to start subscribing to that thing.
I gotta check it out.
We got to check it out. Denis was at Beachbody. Kamala says, yeah, he was the nutritionist at Beachbody. Now, I'm not sure what he's doing besides the Substack, or maybe that he's just doing the Substack, or maybe he's still there. I don't know. He's going to have to fill us in on that. Maybe we'll have to bring him back on the show. We had him as a guest, and maybe we can bring him back because it sounds like there's a lot of new developments. Just Jay says, I totally get. We had to buy a motorhome so we could travel more than 20 miles without stopping, Todd. Check this out. Joel was a badass swimmer. See?
Oh man.
That's from like an ultra athlete is saying that I was a badass swimmer.
What you're saying is an ultra athlete is saying also another ultra athlete.
Joel the sperm Marshall.
I
cool,
love
right?
it.
I like that. Awesome. Just Jay Comedian. OMG! My 12-year-old is in Topeka's swim team. OMG!
Oh, nice.
See, there's a lot of swimming stuff going on today. Today's about swimming. Today is about swimming through the universe in our minds. That's what it's going to be about today.
I like that feeling of swimming.
Yeah.
I like the feeling of swimming.
Uh-oh. Is Blas on Ozempic? Ozempic. You know about that?
Can't pronounce it, yeah, but if I can't pronounce it, I usually don't take it. And if I can't spell it, I don't touch it.
Todd Lee says, "Careful, Blas, or you'll lose the Slob 90X sponsorship." That would be terrible, wouldn't it? If they dropped us.
When Kamala said that I look skinny, it made me nervous because that's our biggest sponsor.
Yeah, and then she said this. She said, "You don't look as." What did she say? Oh, here he goes. "You don't look tubby and beer belly, Blas. You look good." Don't tell Slob 90X. Don't tell him.
But what does she mean by that, Joel?
I don't know. Just Jay says, I used to have beach body. Now I have a silver sneaker body. Interesting. Silver sneaker body.
She's gem. Did I hear you correctly earlier? Hold up. I was talking to Boney. Did Just Jay get her
drum? She got it. She got the drum.
It's in?
I can't. It's totally in. I'm so excited. We got our own drum now in the cult of the hummingbird. How many hats do you own, Blas? How many hats?
I have maybe 102.
Wow.
It might be right now. It could be less because people come over and they're like, "Oh man, I love it. Get about that," and I say no. And then when they leave, for some reason they have.
Look at that rainbow. Look at that rainbow. In Belize, they don't make them like that here.
Is that a Montezuma rainbow?
Might be. Check this out. This is the plane leaving Belize.
Oh God, you can see the color. That always makes me nervous. You can see it.
Have you been in one of these planes?
What?
Have you been in one of these little suckers?
One of these before, Joel. Yes.
No one rocks the stingy brim like Blas. The stingy brim. I like that.
Is that Matt Wright?
That's Matt Wright. Yeah. Check this out. We're flying. We're flying away from Belize.
I get nervous. These planes make me nauseous.
Oh, me too, man.
They're so closed in and it feels tight, and the headphones don't cover all the noise, and it's really...
It's kind of like being in like a Volkswagen in the sky. Isn't this cool?
Why shouldn't be in the sky?
Guignel took this video as they were leaving Belize. Belize? Bye-bye, Belize.
Guignel takes good videos, man.
Doesn't he, though?
I mean, you know, a couple of more lessons and he could be up there with Jeff.
He used to do just vertical videos. Look at this one. There's Todd contemplating leaving the Montezuma. Bye-bye, Belize.
What's that feeling like to leave paradise?
I know, it's got to be tough.
Leaving it. Yeah, you're leaving it.
I don't know. Hopefully he left the, I don't know, organisms that were in his belly.
Man, how beautiful the water is. Look,
Todd is pooping on that plane. Now we're just getting scatological here.
Is that the look?
That's the look. So Kamala says, Matt, please weigh in on the Ticketmaster controversy. That's a pretty serious one. Not sure I ever bought a ticket from Ticketmaster. Maybe 3 times.
Money again? What are they doing? Are they the ones that are buying the tickets and jacking them up in another name? What are you doing? Ticket?
Oh, it's a whole controversy with what's their name? I don't know. They sold tickets for Taylor Swift. Got it. And Taylor Swift, the fans didn't get a chance to buy the tickets because of, bots came in and bought them all. And then they were like scalping them for $22,000 or some crap like that. And now they're after Ticketmaster because Ticketmaster is notorious for trouble.
They got to do better, man. Things have changed.
Taylor
you know
Swift.
what I mean? The system has changed. They got to do better. If they want to be the masters of tickets, they got to do the real fans better by the artist.
She's so popular, though, Taylor Swift. It's just crazy. She's almost as popular as Richard Gaddis is. It's become so expensive.
What I like she's been doing lately, Joel,
Yeah.
is that she has been doing these promo spots or commercial spots. I think she's doing Capital One or one of those. What's in your wallet, whatever kind of.
Yeah.
But they make it look like she's just popping up somewhere normal. Like at a coffee shop or something like that.
Yeah.
And that's good. I like that kind of regular person kind of thing. But they got to do better by her fans with tickets. The Ticketmaster has to do better by her fans. You can't have a global superstar like that, as young and talented as she is, and her real fans can't even get to a show.
No, they're all going to be filled with Terminators and R2-D2s. It'll be very awkward for Taylor Swift. Tay-Tay, as we call her.
Takes away her personal ability.
Don't worry, the government will protect you. I remember, people like really hating on the Ticketmaster, but it's so expensive. I just want to go to the Seahawks game. Seahawks are coming down here to play the Rams, December 4th.
How are they doing?
But I can't afford it. Anyway, let's get on with this thing called lunch therapy because it's supposed to be therapy today, very therapeutic and spiritual. Nothing that has not happened.
Well, we haven't segued to that. We're just doing topics right
now. We haven't segued. There are no segues. There are no segues in comedy.
I love the new
Okay, so check this out. I've got just a few of my favorite YouTube therapy channels here, just to show y'all. These are my go-tos. One is, of course, Healing Vibrations, which we love. This is them doing a fundraiser for breast cancer. You can go to their thing, and if you want to donate to that, fundraiser for the elimination of breast cancer, of course. Todd says, seems to me the entertainers could do their own ticket sales these days, make a hell of a lot more. I don't know. There's some kind of monopolies going on with that stuff.
The thing is that the entertainers do their own ticket sales. They've got to watch out for the bots and stuff too. I mean, it's got to be a better system.
Speaking of entertainers, I hear this guy Joel Marshall is going to be at the Flappers tomorrow night.
It's all over the internet. It's all over. The guy.
And that little QR code will get your ticket for $5. $5. No Ticketmaster involved.
$5 for a Joel Marshall comedy show? Come on.
I think,
it's got to be a scam, dude. I mean, if you can see Joel Marshall for $5, man, you got to go.
You got to go. You have to already be known for that to work. Taylor Swift, or whoever that is. Richard Gaddis says, I believe the venues have deals with the ticket people. It's a monopoly. Well, remember Pearl Jam didn't want to do Ticketmaster for a long time? It was like a big deal. And then finally, I think they gave in. I don't know. Paul Allen started Ticketmaster. Well, that explains a lot. Paul Allen, yeah. Microsoft person. Hey, our guest is here. Our guest is here. Ticketmaster charged me $5.50 for Marshall Live. Oh, no. That's terrible. Our guest is here. Isn't that great? We're going to bring her on in a minute. Yeah. Ava Milva. And she is, well, I'm going to let her explain what she is. She's a coach. And she is, let me show you her website. From stuck in a rut to inspired. See, that's her.
She's good too.
I listen to this thing that is, it is a chanting, and it is so good. I've been doing it. I don't just listen to it. I participate. And we're going to have her lead us in the breathing, because, we haven't breathed yet. Isn't that weird that we haven't? Don't you find that kind of strange?
No, it's okay. We're just, we're kind of going over topics. I mean, it's strange, yes, because also we have our guest today is, one of the best at chanting. So, as soon as we get to breathing,
there's going to be no stopping us. There's going to be no stopping us. All right. Do you think we should bring her on, or do you think we? I think so. Right? What?
You want to bring her on for breathing? You mean?
Yeah. Heck yeah.
If you're feeling inspired, I think that you should.
I'm feeling inspired. Everybody's still talking about Ticketmaster, man. We got to get out of this Ticketmaster rut. Here we go. Interview Friday. It's Interview Friday with Ava Milva, and she's going to come on. And we don't know what's going to happen. We'll see.
Oh,
Here we go.
Ourselves and let it in.
And be ready, because I'm going to bring you on when she starts the breathing thing. Okay? Be ready.
Absolutely. Very.
There she is.
Hello.
Wow. All right. There's some wild applause for you. I'm so glad that you made it. I know you had some things you were doing today, and I'm just glad that you got here. Welcome to Lunch Therapy.
Thank you so much.
All right. So, Ava, I'd like if in the beginning here, if you'll lead us through some breathing, and then we'll talk afterwards. Are you up for that? I'm going to bring Bloss back on, and I'm going to make you like full screen. Everybody in the chat room is saying hi, because they really need some therapy. Chuck Goldsmith, bravo. I'm going to give you the floor here to lead us through whatever you want to do. It's all you.
All right, guys. So welcome if you're new to meditation. then you can just sit in cross-legged position or sit anywhere, like in a chair where you feel comfortable. And the most important thing is to keep your spine tall, your chin in, just to have one straight line from top of the head all the way to the base of the spine. And this is all about connecting to yourself, to your energy. So there's no right or wrong. Just follow along as best as you can. If your mind starts going, just observe your thoughts, but don't act. Okay? All right. The first thing we do, what I do before I meditate, and I invite you guys to join, is I tune in. And we're going to tune in with the mantra. The mantra I use is Ong, ONG, Namo, Gurudev, Namo. So Ong, ONG, Namo, Gurudev, Namo.
Oh, Ava, we're having like an audio problem, and I think that it might
really?
cause us some trouble. Let's get back to here for a second. I'm wondering if I should play the video of your chanting, so that we can, fully experience what you do, because the way it's coming through right now, it's like a little clipped, so we're not able to hear.
Oh, interesting.
But I did prepare, your remove obstacles chanting that you do.
Yeah.
I prepared that, and I have the words on the screen so that we can experience part of that. I've edited it down to like 8 minutes.
Okay.
And I'll just have everybody go through that, and then maybe when we come back, we'll be able to talk a little bit, and hopefully, because I just don't think we'll be able to give the full experience with the audio clipping like that. Okay, so let's...
Is there anything I can do on my end for the audio?
Well, I think maybe if you move the computer closer to you, or if you have a headset with a microphone on it.
I don't.
Okay.
No.
All right. Well, let's do this, and then we'll come back, and you can try, to move it closer or whatever might help. But I think it's the noise canceling that's making it clipped. All right. So I'm going to play this. It's going to be super nice. And what we're going to do is we're going to chant. Could you tell us just what chanting is, and like how is it called chanting, this remover of obstacles? Sing along.
Yes. So mantras are a very sacred sound current.
Yeah.
And when we chant a mantra, it's really clearing to our subconscious mind. It takes us out of whatever patterns we have or thoughts, and puts in a positive program. It's really, really powerful. I love chanting. I do sound healing and events also, where I sing mantras, and they're really, really powerful. So, yes.
Okay.
You can go ahead and share the meditation, and then we can talk a little after.
All right. Sounds good. Looking forward to it. All right. So here's this, and I'm going to, maybe you'll chant with us. I'm going to bring Bloss on here as well, and you'll see.
So the way we're going to do this meditation is, there is a mantra. The mantra is Satanama Ramadasa Sa Se So Hang. Satanama Ramadasa Sa Se So Hang. So we move the fingers along with the mantra. Satanama Ramadasa Sa Se So Hang. We start with the index finger and we move down to the pinky. Satanama Ramadasa Sa Se So Hang. Okay? The palms are going to be on the knees while we're doing this mudra. The eyes are going to be closed, and we're going to chant the mantra. So get ready. This is the first part, the longest part of this meditation. Close your eyes. Hands in Gyan Mudra, ready to chant and move the fingers. Concentrate. Focus on the third eye point.
Sat Se So Hum. Satanama Ramadasa 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 Sat Se So Hum.
Inhale deep. Hold it and just stretch the body in all directions. Your legs, your neck, everything stretching. And exhale. One more time. Inhale. Hold, stretch.
That was something else. I'd love to hear from the chat room what kind of an experience they had with that. Blas, how are you feeling?
That was probably the best breathing we've ever had.
It might be the best breathing we ever had, for sure.
I, I think I opened something up. I can look at my, you know what I mean? Like my nasal passageways were. I
Yeah.
think they're trying to open up, and then I'm halfway there, I'm almost there. And then at one point, with the chanting, I got lost in the chanting, and I'm standing up. That's why. Normally I'm sitting down.
Yeah. Ava, what is
That's
that
good.
song, first of all, and what is the chanting that we're doing?
So this meditation is called the Gumpati Kriya. Gumpati comes from Guru Ganesha energy, and that's why it's removing obstacles. So you guys can practice it. It's on my YouTube channel, this meditation. Maybe you can put a link or something for everyone if they liked it. If you practice for at least 40 days, every single day, you notice that this meditation puts you on your dharma.
On your
So what it's
dharma.
called, so you're moving away from karma, which is kind of the repetitive cycle and the lessons, and onto your dharma, which is your soul path, your soul purpose. So the reason why this specific meditation is one of my favorites is because it has that ability to put you on your soul path.
Okay. Well, that's really interesting. Okay, so somebody in the chat room said if you turn your volume down a little bit, it might help with the noise canceling, which would be great. Or even move your computer closer
Let
to
me
you.
try. Is that better?
That is better. Yeah. Can you still hear me?
Perfect.
You can hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay, great. Okay, so now I would like to know, have you been always like a spiritual person your entire life? Like, did you grow up in that kind of an environment? Or is it something that came to you out of necessity or just randomly? Or how did you become this spiritual person that you are today?
You know, it's a very cool story. I hope you guys can hear me as I'm
Yes,
saying.
we can now.
So I grew up in Bulgaria. I was born there. And throughout my childhood, my parents weren't extremely spiritual. My grandmother was very spiritual, but I never really understood spirituality that much. Meaning, like, I was intuitive always, and I could feel things about people, but I didn't really think too much of that. I just thought it was normal. And so as I grew up and moved to LA, I started really, so I went through a really hard time of my life, which is really what pushed me to discover spirituality. You know, I had a very tough breakup of a relationship. I became a single mom.
Oh, wow.
And that really pushed me to seek deeper of like the meaning of my life and healing. And that's when I started exploring these modalities like Kundalini yoga and energy healing and sound healing. And I found that, wow, there was all these tools and knowledge and things that I could use to heal myself, which was incredible, which I shared like this little meditation today. But there's so many more. And I was so blown away. And as I started to practice, more of my gifts started to open up. And I realized, wow, like we could really heal with this stuff. We could help people. And that's what inspired me to help other people. And then I realized that my mom told me that my great grandmother was a healer actually in Bulgaria. Yeah, she lived in a village and she would pray over people and they would heal.
Really? Wow.
So yeah.
So it's sort of in your blood. Yeah.
So it's in my lineage, you know, but it didn't really, like, my mom doesn't do anything spiritual. She's a businesswoman. Now my dad, so they're very spiritual innately, but they don't practice like I practice. I meditate every day, you know, but it's in my lineage, yes.
How much meditation do you do every day, and how did you get into it?
So, like I said, when I was searching, I did one Kundalini class, and I realized how much better I felt.
Kundalini yoga, does that involve meditation?
Yes,
Is
so
that what it
Kundalini
is?
yoga involves meditation, and the meditation that we just did
Yeah.
is from the Kundalini yoga tradition. But there are many
Really?
different ways to meditate, right? But this is
Yeah.
just one. And the reason why I like yoga and meditation together
Hmm.
is because sometimes moving the body really helps to get the mind still. Because
Yeah.
if you have a lot going on in the physical, you're fidgety and you try to sit down, and you might find it difficult. But if you're just find some way to move your body first, it could be yoga, it could be a workout, it could be dancing, or anything just to get energy out, and you exhaust yourself to
Uh-huh.
the point where you're like, okay, now I'm gonna sit still and I'm gonna meditate.
So are you saying if you exhaust yourself, it can calm your mind as well as being
100%.
calming your body?
Yes. Yes, the yogis in India figure that out. So they usually do a yoga set and then they do a meditation, because sometimes, and as you do that more, you won't need as much movement to drop into that state. But if you're newer to meditation, it really helps to do something physical first.
Yeah.
And then you are basically like really open to drop into a deeper state, because you don't
Yeah.
have so much tension or anxiety that, in your body.
Yes, we had a meditation expert from India on the show, and he said the same thing. He said a lot of times when we were in India, he would have us run around and do all kinds of crazy things and then sit still, and it
Right.
did help. You know, a lot of people there, the biggest barrier to meditation for them, like I have friends who say they want to meditate, but they just can't sit still. So this would be a great thing to tell them, because they're already working out. They just maybe aren't meditating at the right time. Also, I've recently realized that maybe meditating right in the morning is not for me, because I need to actually get the blood moving, because I'm already like my body is already just kind of in a too much of a relaxed state. And so I need to have the blood moving. Do you think so? Meditation sometimes, basically, there's conversations going on in our head, and does it quiet those conversations, or what happens? What are the benefits of meditation?
So meditation is mind training. The same way we train the body, right? We
Yeah.
work out to train the body so we're in good shape.
Yeah.
Well, if we don't train the mind will run in all different directions, and then we tend to attach to all thoughts that come to us.
Yeah.
What meditation does, it gives us the ability to observe our own thoughts and to realize that we are not our thoughts. So we kind of put this layer of space between the thoughts and us, the true self, who is the one that is observing the thoughts. And that actually is really helpful, because then we become a lot more neutral and a lot less reactive. Because as you do more and more meditation and you practice this, like sitting still, you actually realize, like, oh, like I don't have to freak out over everything that comes through my mind. I can just observe it. Sometimes I can let it pass through. Sometimes it might not even be my own thought. It could be something I'm picking up from another person, or because we're also sensitive that every thought that comes to our mind may not be even our own thought. So
Yeah.
meditation gives us this ability. And not only that, it's almost like taking a shower for the mind. So all these thoughts that we have running through our head when we meditate, they really kind of wipes it out of our head, like it's taking a shower, so we can be more clear and we can be more focused on whatever else that we're doing. Let's say we have to work after, or we have to take care of something. We're a lot more clear and focused after we meditate.
After we meditate, we're much more clear and focused. Maybe I find that sometimes in life, especially in my earlier life, I would spiral out on something, just kind of spin out on the same thoughts over and over and over again. Does meditation help you kind of identify those thoughts so that you can maybe let them go if they're not helping you?
100%. Yeah, it helps you. Yeah. So the way someone explained that to me, and I love this analogy, is you know how like that feeling of spiraling thoughts is like you're on the train tracks and there's a train coming and it's about to hit you and it feels so intense.
Yeah.
Whereas when you start meditating, it's really you go up at the bird's eye view and it's really a toy train that's going on a toy train track, and just observing it is not a big deal,
Yeah.
and it's really that's what it is. Because when we meditate, we can go, oh, it's just a thought, it's just a pattern that I have. And maybe you start to get even more conscious and go, this pattern happened because I had this experience, or this was my childhood, and that's why I developed this thinking. Now that I identify it and I don't like this type of thinking, I can change my thinking, and in turn, this is going to change my whole life, because what we think is creating our reality, right?
Yeah.
And so if we can consciously identify the thoughts that are not serving us, and to shift them with better feeling or more profitable thoughts for us, it's a huge game changer. And I feel like meditation gives us this ability to get that consciousness instead of being in that fight or flight trigger reaction response state where we cannot control our emotions, where we cannot control our reactions, even like, let's say, for example, the more you meditate, right, and something triggers you. That's what I observe in myself. Before I meditate so much, if something would trigger me, I'll react right away, just now that I've gotten to practice on meditation, if something would trigger me, I'll go, oh, that's just something, like, I observe it, maybe it won't even trigger me as much, but maybe even if it's trying to trigger me, oh no, I just won't let that trigger me and move on. That's it,
Yeah.
Gives you that.
It's like it gives you the choice, the chance to decide whether
Yeah.
you're going to react to it or not. Now,
Yeah,
okay,
and maybe the reaction will not be as emotional, right? Because maybe you want to say something, but you won't come from that like instant impulse, right? You have a chance to think, pause, and then respond.
That is so interesting. So, okay, so the chanting that we were just doing, what do the words mean? Do they mean anything? Are they in Sanskrit or something, or what is it?
Yeah, so Satanama Ramadasa Sase Sohang.
Yeah.
Satanama is a extension of Satnam, and in it's not in Sanskrit, it's Gurmukhi actually, because there are mantras in Sanskrit, but this is in Gurmukhi language. Satnam means truth. Sat means truth. Nam means identity. So Satnam means truth is my identity. So when you chant Satanama, that's what you're saying. Truth is my identity. And then Ramadasa Sase Sohang, it's a healing mantra. So it's the combination of Satanama Ramadasa Sase Sohang. Now that is removing obstacles in your life.
Do you need to know what the words mean in order to get the benefits? Not necessarily.
Absolutely not, because the sound has the energy that is doing the work. You don't need to know the meaning, and that's the beauty of it, because your soul, your consciousness recognizes these words. They're coming from a very, very high place, right?
Do you think that chanting? So, what does chanting do? Does it help help you? I don't know, get through your thoughts? Does it resonate in the body and then do some kind of medicinal thing to your body, or what is the chanting for me?
I love that you asked that question. So there are multiple benefits to chanting. One, yes, you're repeating the mantra, so it does help get out of your thoughts.
Yeah.
Number two, you're using your voice, and your voice is like the most healing tool that you could possibly have. So the vibration of your own voice with these sacred sounds is very, very healing to the body. So it's a combination of that. It's really amazing. Like, so I highly recommend guys to just check out different mantras online and practice. There's some simple ones, and just chanting them over and over. It's huge, huge benefit to your life.
Here's a question from our chat room. How can you describe can you describe a proper daily practice of self-care? How long does it take? How can we do this in this crazy busy world that we live in?
Right. And I have this chat with a lot of my clients that work one-on-one, because a lot of times people have a hard time to balance their life. We either go into work mode. So self-care doesn't have to be a full hour always. As long as you find the time to do something. It could be 11 minutes, it could be 15 minutes of meditation. It could be 15 minutes of just sitting in quiet and silence. It could be taking a bath. It could be just having a time in nature, right? And I sometimes people think that self-care has to be this long thing, like they have to book an appointment and get a massage. But if you just walk outside and you put your feet on the earth, for example, it's very grounding, or just sit in the sun, that would feel really good to your body. So remember that there are, or the most simple thing that I tell people is
Yeah.
the breath. If you just sit there and you deepen your breath,
Yeah.
then right away your state starts to shift. So note that as soon as you start feeling overwhelmed, stressed out, uncomfortable, don't continue doing what you're doing, because then you're not going to really have the best result because your energy is not in the right place. So I always tell myself and my clients is when you get to that point out of balance, the first thing you got to do is find something that will bring you back to balance. And that something could be multiple things depending on the person, right? It could be just having a nice tall glass of water with lemon, like that could bring them back, hydrate them.
Yeah.
Or it could be just going outside and breathing, or it could just be like having a nice chat with a friend, like whatever it is to make you feel good and aligned, and then you continue with your work or your day.
That's interesting. I want to ask you about Etherica. What is Etherica? So I'm just bringing on the screen here just a little visual here with you of Etherica. This is Etherica at the LA Dome. Was that what it was called?
Wisdom LA.
Wisdom LA. So you perform this Etherica at Wisdom LA and then other places, like the Pan Pacific Park, I think. Is that right? And what is this, and how can people get involved in it?
So Etherica is something that I created through my practice and everything that I've learned, and it has helped me heal. And so I ended up putting together a few different healing modalities, and they're so fun and easy to experience. You don't have to be like a seasoned meditator, or you could be, but basically it's a combination of Kundalini activation, then there's breath work, so using breathing, and then there's energy healing, so it's like a guided meditation, and then sound healing at the end for like about an hour, where we play different instruments like the gong. I use my voice and chant mantras, and sometimes we have other instruments. And if you're at the Wisdom, there are visuals. Basically, in this hour and a half experience, a lot of times people have really deep healing and release, and a super huge shift that happens energetically, mentally. So they come in and they leave a lot happier and lighter and more at peace. So we bring people from a state of being stressed or being worried to being really feeling at peace, at one, feeling love. And each event we have a different theme. So sometimes we are working with opening the heart, other times we are activating abundance and prosperity in our lives, other times we are doing things such as I don't know, past lives connection or rebirthing experience. We have many different ones. So if you guys want to come to an event, we have them every Sunday at Pan Pacific or once a month at the Wisdom LA. So etherica.la is our Instagram, if it's okay to share.
Etherica.la. Let me try and put that on the screen here. And that's where they can find out, you know, what's happening, basically.
Yeah, they can click the link in the bio there, and that's where they can see when the next event is and all the information, how to register.
Okay, so like the link is in the bio.
Yeah, of etherica.la.
Okay, so that's a good place to find that out. Now, so would you say that you do a sound bath sometimes as well, like with crystal bowls and that kind of thing?
It is, yeah, we have crystal bowls. So it's a sound bath. That's what it is. But it's a very unique sound bath because we incorporate like a lot of things, but that's what it is. It's a sound bath, sound bath.
And how are you a musician as well? I noticed on your YouTube channel there's some, it seems like music videos going on. Is that also one of your aspirations, is to be well, you are a musician. But is that like something you want to do as a career as well?
Well, I incorporate everything that I do. I don't find that they're different things. So everything that I like to do, I
Yeah.
incorporate into one thing. So music is a huge part. So specifically using music to heal and creating conscious music and sound current. So
Yeah.
I find that I would like to integrate everything into one. So yeah, Etherica is very musical experience. And yeah, for sure, this is a big part of what I do on top of like my coaching and one-on-one work. And I do feel like it's all really connected into one.
It seems like I like that idea of like it's all just a part of the same thing. Did you have a teacher yourself or several teachers that you would say helped you on this path?
I've had multiple mentors and teachers and coaches, and I'm continuing to have mentors and coaches all the
Yeah.
time because I feel that as someone that's now guiding and helping others, I like to grow all the time myself. So I feel like part of my time I use to share the tools with other people, another part I always learn from teachers as well.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think I agree with you about always learning, because you can always learn from people. And
Yeah.
you never know where your next teacher is coming from. And
I love having teachers that like inspire me and I can learn from. It's so exciting, honestly,
yeah,
because I feel like part of that journey is like when someone says I know everything, I'm like, no, we never know
of
everything.
course not.
So it's fun to expand our knowledge,
Do you
right?
travel a lot?
Um, yeah, I mean, sometimes I travel, but not so much because of the
Yeah,
pandemic. I didn't travel as
yeah.
much, but we do plan on going to different cities with Etherica and touring at some point. So that's kind of,
How do you
the
balance having a child and this kind of work? Is it tough to do?
You know what? Like, I've made my life around being a mom, so I do most of my events on the weekends,
Yeah.
and then, I work while she's at school, and then when she's not at school, I'm also a full-time mom, so I
Yeah.
do all the mom stuff.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work, but I love all of it, and I feel like we are multidimensional beings, so I feel every person has many gifts and many talents, and one of the things that I what hopefully can inspire people to do is
Yeah.
to be open to exploring all of your gifts. Don't feel like, oh, just because you have this one thing, that's it. You can have multiple things that you do. And yes, I love being a mom and I love doing everything that I do, and I somehow managed to balance it, plus
Yeah.
finding time for self-care and social life and all of that.
Does your
Sometimes the social life gets challenging.
yeah? Does your daughter do these practices as well, or do you practice these with your daughter?
Yeah, she does meditation and she does sometimes she'll play the gong with me. She has her own little crystal bowl and
Really?
I mean
That's
she's
cool.
12, so
Yeah.
her energy is like in based on different things, but she does enjoy coming to the events and she's supportive
Good.
and she's grown up around it, so she, that's her second nature to her.
That is so cool. Do you ever? Do you think that doing meditation, doing sound baths as a group is important? Like building a community of people that do this?
Yeah, I love the group aspect because I feel like together the energy is very powerful when we do like group events, and also providing a container for people to connect to each other and to
Yeah.
have that group of people who want to grow, want to expand their consciousness. I think it's really amazing.
Do you ever look into the future and try and picture what's going to happen in the future? Do you do any kind of work like that?
I mean, yes, I've been able to predict a lot of stuff for a lot of my clients. So
Really?
I can, look in, like when I work one-on-one with people in private session, that's when I usually would look in intuitively and they'll ask me like, am I meant to stay at that job or am I meant to stay at this place or should I move? And my intuition is very, very accurate in saying like, hey, you're going to move in 6 months from now. And this is what your place is going to look like. So I'm able to visualize like the type of place they're going to move to, the time frame, and usually spot on. And like, or should
Really?
I get this bed or that bed? And I'm usually able, yeah. So intuition is amazing. And the reason why intuition and like when we say future, right? I do believe that we exist into a multidimensional reality. And in third dimension, we have this idea that time is linear, so there's like past, present, and future.
Right.
However, in a higher dimensional space, all everything's happening at the same time. So
I've
when
never
you
been able
say
to wrap my head around that. Maybe you'll explain it.
I
Sorry.
know. So that's why sometimes people will be say you predict the future, and all these psychics and people can quote unquote see the future, because the truth is it's not really the future. It's something that is actually also happening now. You're just tapping into that moment of time, and it's just a timeline, right? And there are many so future is not fixed, meaning like there are many options for the future, but we're just looking into the if you're on the same timeline that you are right now, that will be the future, but you could always make a different choice to change
That's the thing I have never liked about tarot cards and people who read your palm and that kind of thing, is because I don't want them making my future. I would like to be creating it
No, we
myself. You know
decide
what I
our
mean?
future, but when you talk to someone that's intuitive, they're able to tell, like, there's a lot of free will things that happen, like we have free will in our life, but there's certain fixed things that we chose on a soul level that we decided prior to incarnating in order to kind of help us find our way here, if that makes sense.
You've
So
said some things about, I don't want to cut you off. What did you say?
So basically, like there's some free will and there's some things that are predetermined. That's what a lot of people ask me. Well, is everything predetermined? No, it's not. But there's certain things that are. But there's always free will and there's always opportunity to change.
That's really good to know. Now, would you say that we're put on the planet, or we're in this life? Like, would you say there are multiple lifetimes that we have? That we are like,
Oh, absolutely.
not just one. And are we here in this lifetime to solve some kind of problem, or why do we keep going through all these different lives?
Well,
besides the fact that it's fun,
every life that we have
Yeah.
is opportunity for our soul to grow. So whatever life we're in right now is we chose it because our soul decided I need these soul lessons in order to grow as a soul, right? So there is no right or wrong. And from a soul perspective, there is no good or bad, meaning like certain souls choose harder lessons in a lifetime. So they choose more challenges, but those souls actually having huge soul growth through these challenges, right? Other souls maybe are older souls that have been on earth many, many lifetimes. And then because of that, when they come in with a lot of soul knowledge. So they're wise, maybe sometimes beyond their years because of all their soul knowledge. So they usually come in as teachers or guides for others, right? So there's a lot of reasons why we choose the lives that we choose, but it's always on some level for growth, right? Because that's what our soul wants to do, is always grow in some way.
Wow, that's intense. When you do meditation, like you in the beginning when you were doing meditation, you would meditate sometimes 8 hours a day, right?
I have.
Have you had? Do you have? What kind of experience do you have? Do you have any kind of like out of body experience, or anything that that beyond what a normal meditation? When I meditate, it calms my mind down. Maybe I can get the voices to shut up. But what kind of experience can you have if you really go farther into this meditation thing?
I mean, all kinds of things I've experienced, but I'm going to give you one example that was truly mind-blowing. That was like, wow. So I was meditating in one of those 8-hour-a-day meditations. And then all of a sudden I saw myself started to lift out from this realm, going through the higher realms. And eventually I was in this realm, I felt that it was just a pure golden light, the realm of all creation. It was just source energy. And I was there and I was like, wow, this was so beautiful. It was just energy. But I felt like that's where everything originates from. And so I was there and it just felt so amazing. It was just pure love, just golden light. And I was like, it just felt incredible. And I just could feel how everything could be manifested when you're in that space of golden light. And it's like, on earth we have this like really dense energy. Like when we think of something, it's like takes a while to make it happen. But there, anything you think is like instantly manifested. It was just like this pure energy of creation. So it's awesome.
That sounds pretty great. The Todd Lee says that he wants to know where they can find you online, and I believe that is at avamilva.com. Am I right?
avamilva.com. Yes, you can message me there. Or
there's Blas. Yes, I'll bring you
Yes.
back on the screen here in a second.
Thank you.
Somehow I have that. But yeah, this is avamilva.com, and you can go there and you can see some of the things that she provides, right?
Yeah, so if you're interested to work with me, there's a link there to book a call. So you can schedule a call via Calendly on my calendar, and then I can talk to you and you can tell me more about where you at, and then, see if we're a good fit to work together.
That's great. Ava Milva.
Yeah. Well, we'll post her info on the show.
Yeah.
Information as well.
Awesome.
We'll do that as well. We have to end the show now, unfortunately.
Put it on your website too, Joe. Put it on
What's that?
Okay,
Oh yeah, I'll put
thank
it.
you.
I'll put it.
Put it on
But
your website.
I will. avamilva.com. Ava, at the end of the show, we play a cover song from somebody on YouTube and we dance. Are you game for dancing to a song from this
Sure.
Hang out.
performer?
Hang out.
Yes. Okay,
Let's
so
go.
so it is. He's called Social Repose. He's doing a Mumford and Sons song. I don't know. Are you familiar with Mumford and Sons? And he is a really unusual fellow. I found him on YouTube. He said we could play his song. He's called Social Repose. He's got a huge following. He looks a little like Edward Scissorhands. Let's get this thing going. And then we'll end the show. And just thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you so much for having me. So appreciate you. And nice to meet everyone here in the chat. Thank you guys for being here. And I saw the comments. So I hope that, that was a positive experience for you today.
Hopefully we can get down there and to the, what is it called? LA Dome? I keep forgetting what it's called.
Wisdom.
Wisdom.
With an E.
Wisdom,
LA.
LA. Because I really want to do that.
Pan Pacific, right? Is that at the Pan Pacific?
Pan Pacific? No, then the Pan
And
Pacific
that
Park is another one.
Park is every Sunday. And right now for the winter time, we're there at 5 p.m. So every Sunday at 5 for the winter time, we do event at the amphitheater. So if you guys are familiar, it's a beautiful outdoor space. It's a little chilly, so bring a blanket, but it's really gorgeous and fresh air. It's really nice.
And that's right next to the Grove Mall in Los Angeles.
Right next to the Grove, and it's like if you go to Pan Pacific, it's right next to the Holocaust Museum. It's right there, and then there's the amphitheater.
So cool. All right, let's dance this thing out. Thanks so much for being on the show. We'll see
Thanks,
do I
Ava.
leave my camera on, or do I just
Leave your camera on. We're going to dance, and then it'll be over after a few minutes.
Hang out until you want to and have fun with it.
Yeah, you can always turn your camera off, too. All right, here we go.
This is part of our
we always do this, always.
Yeah, this is part of our
love
meditation
dancing.
out.
I mean,
Yeah. This is part of our ritual. All right, here we go.
I love it.
Dance break.
Oh, yeah.
Dance break.
Uh-oh. I've got a volume problem. Sorry. Here we go.
Weep, little lion man, you're not as brave as you were at the start. Rate yourself or rake yourself and take all of the courage you have left. Waste it on fixing all the problems that you made in your own head. But it was not your fault but mine, and it was your heart on the line. I really fucked it up this time. Deny my dare. Deny my dare. Tremble for yourself, my man. Know that you have seen this all before.
Check out Social Repose on YouTube. He's a really cool dude. Thanks everybody for being here. This has been Lunch Therapy. Whee! All right, that's the end of the show. We'll see you all on Tuesday.